Let's take it slow. I'm on a journey really to make sure that I've done everything, and I mean everything that I can, to care for myself in such a way that I know that I won't neglect me, nor that I would neglect whomever is involved in my life as that journey continues to unravel itself, or to fall before me as I continue that path. Something that is incredibly obvious at this point is that there are so many times in life and my own experiences where I felt incredibly alone. And there's a lot of reasons for that. I've mentioned it in previous videos, talking about the fact that when you're on a specific path in life where you're dedicated to developing yourself, other people see in you what they would love to have within themselves. And with that, they connect, they get attached to specific attributes of you, but not the whole of you. It's a normal human being experience. We love mentorship and guidance. That's part of the whole hierarchy that we live inside of, as we are communal creatures. We're pack type creatures. We seek out communities because that is the type of species that we are. And inside of that, we're looking how to develop ourselves based off of our observations of others. And with those observations, we start to mimic and or explore those particular attributes that we see they have that they're better at than that we ourselves are, or than we ourselves are. So we start creating these bonds that bond doesn't necessarily accept all of you. It accepts what it is focused on. So if you're good with balancing your checkbook, for an example, whenever money comes up, who do they want to speak to? And the person that they're going to look for is going to be the person they find that's most proficient. Now, the checkbook, it is or financial balancing, if you will, and financial balancing is also how to ensure that you're procuring a future stability in the realm of resources that are exchangeable resources of value that other people may want to have if you offer. That would be what we refer to, as money. We all have an agreement that money has a specific value to us, and we do things in order to accumulate that and also put a value system around it. So now with this, we will have people that just find those things. Now, money is one that it may be a little harder example, because it seems like most people that watch my channel particularly find themselves more interested in emotional maturity and or sexual maturity or sexuality than necessarily finding value in financial maturity. Although some of the things I say may leave people with an aha or some insight that changes perspectives a little bit, it seems like I get more of the emotional and the sexuality maturity interests than I do for other aspects of human beings. So as far as the maturity values of emotion, the more emotionally mature you are, the more that you can support somebody else and have them feel who they are through their experiences of you, because you're not in a relationship with them. The more mature you are emotionally, the less likely you are in a relationship with them with the intent that you are there just so that you can fill a void with them. They're usually seeking out acceptance from you so that they therefore themselves can feel like they're more whole, if you will. Because we all want to feel whole, we all want to feel complete, we all want to feel like we're so incredibly well developed and satiated with life's callings in all aspects and able to take on what life is bringing on. So we get that desire to be centered, and that desire to be centered can be your maturity that other people see, and then there's the attachment that be what they're after. Now, what happens with that, though, for the person on that journey is at times it can feel very lonely, because you're in a process just the same as other people, but you may shift your perspective so you're not after somebody else to fill a void for you. You're more after how you can become more of yourself and more well adapted to deal with the things that come at you in life. So with that, that be what I mean by the idea of being lonely. Is when you find yourself in need of something specific, you may not have the kind of support you offer other people return to you because they're not at that level of development to do it, or your attention on the thing that is making you feel lonely is so great that for the people that are supporting you at the levels that they're developed to do it, and or your comfort of them being supportive, and your it's not an intentional expectation, it is a continuation of a conditioning over time that makes you feel like it's just going to be there. And that falls into what people typically say about taking things for granted. Taking things for granted is usually a negative connotation, because it is, well, you should have cherished it while you had it. And then there's the retrospect on it, where it's like, I wish I did respect it more and appreciated it while I had it. And it puts this negative connotation on it, which makes people want to move away from appreciating what it truly is. So with that, it's not that you devalue what you're receiving from other people consistently over time. That is the regular staple in your life for support. It's not that you devalue that. It's that your attention has moved to something else, which is natural because we are problem solving and solution creating machines. We love solutions. As a species, we do. That's why we've gotten as far as we have with technology. Always creating solutions to challenges. And sometimes those solutions are so incredibly minuscule that they look like just technological advances and excitement, instead of, well, this was born out of frustration. This was born out of something that somebody noticed they could make better. So that's what we're always doing as a species. We love creating solutions. So you get your attention on something else that's a higher value of attention to you. Doesn't mean it's a higher value as in it nullifies the value of other things, as much as it just means that at that moment in time, you recognize some place that you can develop, it's uncomfortable, and your attention sticks. That's where it can feel somewhat lonely. Doesn't mean you're not supported, doesn't mean that you're alone, but at times, people are not resonating on that same vibration, if you will, if that's your preferred language, or people haven't put the work in far enough to actually be able to continuously support you at that depth. And you may say, hey, I wish somebody was more like me in this life. And, the person that was, if it's in the emotional realm, the person that was more like me is the one that is no longer present. And that's why I'm emotionally distraught or challenged or whatever. There's so many other variables, but it seems like where most people have access to making breakthroughs is in situations like breakups and things like that, where, it's a moment in life where you're like, I'm not going to forget this on multiple levels. But the beautiful thing about it is you are not alone. You are not alone at all. Look around you. And if you are alone, in the rare instances that you are, then it's likely going to have to do with something about you as a person, and you're not doing enough work on yourself to get other people to want to be there to support you. It doesn't mean that it's all dismal and don't do anything in the rest of your life and, it's all hopeless and anything like that. It's not that at all. At all. It just means that you're going to be better suited if you put work in on yourself. So, all right. That's it for today's episode. You're not alone. None of us are. No, very, very few exceptions. Even then, even if you're in isolation in prison, and locked away from everybody else, somebody knows of your existence and you're not alone because of that. You just may not have the ability to know who that is and what they're thinking, but they're still there in some aspect, and you do matter. You make a big difference in this world. For the good, for the bad, or indifferent, or anything, you do make a difference, and owning that will make a difference for you. Okay, that's it for today. I am your host, Sir Chad Everett Brochures. This is Growing Up in the Wilds of Suburbia. I thank you very much for joining me today. Put in the work on yourself. I just finished my 11th workout for the week, second day of legs. I've done cardio, I've done everything I need to. I just need to go feed my body now and then get on with my day. And with that, I hope that you do something for yourself as well. If you want to make an impact, you want to make a big difference, do something right now for you. Set a plan. It doesn't matter how big it is, so long as it's something. If you haven't done a lot lately, even the smallest thing can be your progress and breaking free. So thank you for watching this video. If you find value in it, please like the video. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel so you can get all the recent updates. Follow me on my journey of self-development, self-love, and my intention for the world to help us all develop in a way that really benefits mankind as a whole. If this video is something that also gives you some insights and or some ahas, and there's a conversation with somebody in your life you'd like to actually have with them, and this video could give access, share the video with them, suggest that they watch it, and then start a conversation that you feel will make a meaningful moment between you and this person. Use this as a way of breaking the ice, if you will, and starting dialogue. I'm not saying that I'm right, by all means. Very unlikely that I'm going to be right as far as all of eternity's, expression of human beings, but, doesn't mean that you can't use this as a bridging opportunity to become more insightful in your own life and potentially enlightened, if you will. So it's up to you what language you like. I have my preferred language, but I'm not stuck on anything necessarily. So this is a journey to make the life that you want. It's up to you. If nobody else is going to give it to you, no one else is going to give it to you. And if you're entitled, you're likely going to be very upset throughout life because you're going to expect somebody else to do for you what you're not willing to do for yourself. And you'll find out very quickly there's not a whole lot of people that want to bear that burden. You need to bear your own burden, bear your own cross. Pick your suffrage and make it mean something. I am. And I hope that you do that with me. This is not easy. It's not easy. But damn it if it's not worth it. So stick with me. We'll make that awesome life together. Okay? All right, until next time, I'm your host again, Sir Chad Everett Brochures, and this is Growing Up in the Wilds of Suburbia. You're not alone. See ya.